สวัสดีครับอาจารย์ครับผม
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. Everyone who's interested is welcome to join. I will start with Felicia Chan.
Good evening, Ajaan. Today I don't have question. My meditation progress is good. Thank you, Ajaan.
Yeah, is your mind under control?
Yeah, very
Okay.
good.
You can
Your
keep it
teaching very
calm.
helpful.
You can keep it calm all the time.
Yeah,
No need to
Thank
get
you.
upset. No need to get angry.
okay.
Just let
Noted.
go. Just let go. Simple. Just let go. Nothing belongs to you.
Yeah, thank you.
You come empty-handed. When you leave, you leave empty-handed.
Yeah.
You take nothing with you when you came, and you take nothing with you when you go.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you, Ajaan. Thank you.
Okay, Lillian from Bangkok. Happy birthday, husband! Your husband's birthday.
Thank you. And my daughter too. Lily, come.
Yeah.
Say why.
Happy birthday. How old are you now?
How old are you, Lily?
10.
10. Okay. What did you get on your birthday?
Cannot remember. What do you get? Tell me.
A phone.
A phone. You like it?
Yes.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Make good use of your phone. Okay. Don't play with it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Go ahead, Lillian.
I don't have any questions, but I have a comment that I'm totally opposite of Felicia, that I cannot focus my mind very well at all nowadays. So
Maybe because her situation is different from you. She's
yes,
probably alone and has no family matters to worry about.
yes. I'll take her as my motivation.
It's better to be alone if you want to practice Dhamma.
Yep.
If you still engage with people and things, it's very difficult.
Yep. Really need to try a lot harder.
Yeah, you have to keep reminding yourself.
Yes,
Everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta.
definitely. And this group helps a lot, definitely.
Okay, good. Keep coming. No charge.
Thank you, Ajahn.
No admission fee.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, next. Nannapat from Ubon Ratchathani.
นมัสการค่ะท่านอาจารย์ I don't have any question happy to listening in ค่ะท่านอาจารย์ thank you ค่ะ
Okay, Gokseng from Singapore.
Yeah, great. Yeah, Ajahn, I have no questions at the moment. Thank you.
Professor Kenneth from Switzerland. Has university started yet?
Yes, Ajahn, good afternoon. This is the fourth week
Fourth week already.
of the semester, yeah.
So you're teaching today.
I have something a bit later on today, but the teaching is not as much as it used to be, so I have quite a bit more time, so it's good.
Good. Spend more time in meditation.
Yeah, it's working better than before, yeah, so. I have no questions today, Ajahn. Just
Please go
listening.
ahead.
No questions at
Oh,
the
no
moment.
question.
No.
Okay.
Thank
I'll
you.
go to
Ajahn.
Machi Mamio from Thailand.
นมัสการค่ะท่านอาจารย์ I have no question thank you
Okay. Alvini from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajahn. I have no question as well. Thank you.
Yokbe from New York.
Good evening, Ajahn.
Go ahead. I can hear you okay.
Yeah, I have two questions. One for my friend, right? She want to ask, how come in our Malaysia country, the people pass away, they have to using the money paper or even so many things to pray with the dead people. The people can visit those things or not?
No, it's just belief. It's not true. The only thing that you can send them the merit you make from charity.
Okay.
That's the real money for them. They use the merit as money in the spiritual world. You cannot take dollars or ringgit with you when you leave this world. You have to take merit, bunya with you.
Yeah, there's probably the also the people doing the business, they doing so many things, the iPhone, iPad, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, just believe. You just follow whatever the trend is. Mercedes-Benz, sometimes they have Mercedes-Benz and Cadillacs. But it's just belief. It's just it's just ritual. Ritual. It has no any substance. You don't need to do it. the best way to help people who departed from this world is to share the merit you make from your charity.
Okay. And one more question for me. Because I living in New York for almost 40 years already. You know, the New York's nighttime is every day is like a rush hour. Because I could maintain my mind and even my work is making more slowly like come like that.
How to separate yourself from New York? Go someplace else. Or stay at home, stay inside the house, don't go outside. Only go out when you really have to. And do meditation. This is
That's
all.
yeah, that's all. Nothing else I can do.
Yes. How's the migrant problem? I heard you have a lot of the busing the migrant from Texas to New York.
It's every single day the people very badly, you know, even because I need to transport their attention to my working day. Yes.
And there's no way to stop them from busing all the migrants to New York.
Yeah, no, yeah. So the only the good way, the next month I will go with Vanilla Chan to Bangkok. That's only happy that the month that.
Okay. Maybe you can come visit me when you come to Bangkok.
I have to ask my friend Vanessa Chan. She's the leader for me.
I see. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you for joining.
Belinda from Singapore.
Hello, Tanajan. I have no question, but
Okay.
I have one comment. I got COVID now. So
Okay, congratulations.
yes, thank you. Because just last week Ajaan was saying, "Oh, you expecting it? That's it. It comes." So yes, Ajaan is like you get immunity for that after recovery.
That's right. It's like taking vaccination, natural vaccination. Okay, it's not a big threat like before now because everybody has some form of immunity. So just go through the symptoms a few days and everything is over. Hope you recover soon if you're not recovered yet. Okay.
Thank you, Tanajan.
All
Thank you.
right. Anura from New Zealand. How's your retreat, meditation retreat?
Hi, Ajaan, good to see you. Yeah, it's very good, Ajaan. So,
How many months? 4 months?
I stayed for about 12 weeks.
12 weeks.
That was, yeah,
About 3 months.
yeah, during the Vasa. So I came back about 10 days ago, last week, 2 weeks ago. That was really good to be peaceful and do a lot of meditation.
Yeah, I have
And
nothing to worry about.
Yeah, you realize what you mean by upeka and all the teachings you gave. I kept on reminding myself during meditation, so that's really useful. Thanks for teaching, Ajaan. Yeah.
You have any question tonight?
No question today.
Okay,
I'll
good
ask
to
later.
see you.
Thank you.
Good to
Yeah,
see you again.
same. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Taiwan, Eugene from Taiwan.
Good evening, Pa Ajaan. I have a question. On Sundays, Dharma in English, one Dharma friend ask you, can he use a mantra Ajaan Suchart become methods to do the mindfulness meditation? Then you answers. He said if he use Ajaan Suchart to do the meditation, can he have more connection with you? You say no. Even you chanting Putto, you cannot connect with Buddha. I think this answer is very good. But I'm wondering if we chanting Puto, maybe we will have some seed or some habitual put our consciousness, and the next life we will become a Buddhism. And if we chanting the Jesus Christ, maybe we will rebirth to a country has this belief or religion. Is it correct?
Not necessarily. Yeah, it's just a word for you to use to calm your mind with. That's all. You will take this with you in your future life and continue this practice. But it doesn't mean that you will follow Christianity or anything like that. Because the word itself doesn't explain to you what Christianity is anyway, right? So it's just a word just to you use to distract, to pull your mind away from other thoughts, to keep your mind calm, that's all. So if you use death, it doesn't mean that next life you will die when you're born, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the next question is, when I do the metta practice, you taught before we should let it be. Anyone want to do anything, we just let them do what they want. But I think in my practice, if I let other people to do what they want, sometimes will appear more problem, then I have to spend more time to fix it. So should I continue my habit to control everything, handle everything, and help myself, also help other people, because it can save more time to let me do the practice?
You do what you can, and what you cannot do, then you just leave it alone.
Okay. Then the third question is, I read the Holy Disciples story about the Shariputra and Moggallana, and many different writers. So some says when they pass away, get into nirvanas, Buddha no cry, no have other emotions. And some writers says when Shariputra and Moggallana pass away, Buddha cry because they are the big support for the Sangha. Which one is correct? Because sometimes
Buddha never cry. Buddha never cry. Buddha have no emotion, no attachment.
Arahant will cry because the joyfulness about the Dharma, but Buddha will not, right?
Same, Buddha and Arahant are the same. No emotion, no defilement, no attachment.
But can cry?
Maybe tear of joy.
Okay, I see.
But not tear of sadness, not tear of suffering. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Next, a person called Zoom user, whatever you are. What's your name? Zoom user. If you can tell us where you're from.
Are you talking to me, Ajaan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so my apologies. First time I'm on your Zoom meeting. Very nice to meet you. My name is Ralph. I used to live in Australia until recently, but I've now moved, live next door to you almost in Nong Pre in Banglamung. Been here for a while. I'm retired now and been able to dedicate more of my time to meditation, which I think is improving quite significantly. Particularly now I've been able to follow the 5 precepts more strictly than I've ever been able to do so. I have one question for you, though. A thing that I'm trying to I guess, work into my life is mindfulness while I'm doing my daily activities, you know, eating, getting up in the morning, walking around, and being in that moment I'm trying to understand whether there's a mental framework that I can apply to help me with that.
Well, the goal is to stop your mind from thinking, from wondering about the past or the future, and bring your mind back to the present by focusing on what you're doing with your body. See, or if you feel that you cannot focus because your mind keep running away, you can use a mantra to help bring it back also.
Correct.
Recite a mantra. If you like Bhutto, you can use Bhutto or some other word that you find it useful for you.
Okay.
That's
Thank
all.
you.
The goal is to stop thinking, to take control of your thought. Your mind is like a monkey, it likes to think all the time. So you have to use mindfulness to force it to stop thinking. Only think when you really have to. If not, just use a mantra or try to stick with what you're doing with your body. Walking, standing, sitting, eating, whatever you do with your body, just keep watching your body. And your mind cannot run away and think about other things. If it does, you might use a mantra to help you bring it back.
Thank you.
Okay. I hope you will enjoy our meeting here. Okay. Let me go to Suchart from Maryland, USA, Silver Spring.
Yeah, good morning from here, Ajaan, and just enjoying your teaching, and I'm trying to put it to use as much as possible. And thank you for your teaching. I have no questions tonight.
Okay, Gary from Singapore. Gary.
Good evening, Ajaan. No questions for me. Just listening in. Thank you.
Okay, Willie, Mechi Willie from Indonesia.
Good evening, Ajaan. I also don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, Diana from Wales.
Hello, Ajaan. I have two, maybe three questions. The first question is there any teaching about cremation or burial when we die?
Well, according to the Buddha, when he died, he instructed his body to be cremated after 7 days of giving people the time to pay respect. And he told them his body should be cremated. And after the cremation, then the bones left behind will be distributed to different rulers of that time for them to put in a pagoda for paying respect and for remembrance. So that's the Buddhist tradition following from the example of the Buddha. But before that, in India, during the Buddha's time, when people die, they just take the body and left it in the cemetery without doing anything. Just wrap the body in cloth and leave the body rot. Then after that, the monks go and collect the cloth that wrapped around the corpses and then take it to make the robe for themselves to wear. And some monks used to collect material for making robes by going to some cemetery.
Wow. Oh, thank you. Second question. I was reading in the Forest Leaves book about, he was talking about when people die, if they don't get to understand pain, they take the easy option when they die, rather than the book, just to avoid the pain, and they don't get to where they should do. And I wondered if you could explain that.
Well, see, pain is one of the problems that every mind has to encounter and know how to solve this problem properly. But for people without the proper instruction, they would want to avoid or run away from the pain if they can. And this doesn't solve the problem, because in your next life, you'll run into the same problem again. Every time you have birth with a body, that body will produce painful feelings for you to experience. And most people just rely on some other thing to cope with this painful feeling. Like nowadays, medication, right? But the medication has side effects and had addiction problem. So the true way, the way the Buddha discovered is that the way to deal with pain is to understand the nature of pain and then accept it, and then you cannot run away from it. Just face it with equanimity. You need a tool. You need to practice meditation and have a strong mind with equanimity, meaning the mind can remain undisturbed by the pain of the body. See? So if you can meditate and enter into jhana, your mind will start to develop equanimity. And when you come out of meditation of jhana, you still maintain some equanimity for you to be able to handle the pain, the physical pain when it appears. And with the help of wisdom that teaches you that painful feeling is just another natural phenomena that you have to meet as long as you have a body. And you cannot run away from it. You cannot get rid of it because it's a natural phenomena like the rain and the wind, for instance. You have to learn to live with it, like you live with the weather. Once you have this equanimity and wisdom to advise you how to deal with pain, then you just leave the pain alone and try to stay calm. And you'll find that the painful feeling is not that painful at all. The real pain is the stress created by your mind, by aversion or by your desire to get rid of the pain, which you cannot do. This is the real pain that we can get rid of, the stress in the mind. But we cannot get rid of the pain of the body.
So we should try not to take painkillers and do like the monks do.
Use the Dhamma medicine, which is equanimity. Do a lot of meditation, mindfulness. When you feel irritated, you feel stressful because your body is painful, keep reciting a mantra. If you can meditate, go and meditate. This will be the way to deal with pain. And eventually you'll be able to live with the pain without without any need for any pain medication, painkillers, for instance.
In the book, he said that we make a choice when we die, and if we are just making the choice to avoid pain, we miss out on the choice.
That's right, because this is an opportunity for you to transcend the pain. You know the technique, how to deal with it. But without the teaching of the Buddha, we would not know how to deal with pain. So people would use medication or whatever method, or sometimes killing themselves just to get rid of the pain. But they only solve the problem temporarily, because they'll come back next life and have the same problem again. But once you solve this problem, then it is over once and for all. Even if you have to come back in your next life, if you hadn't reached the highest level of enlightenment, you will not be disturbed by the painful feeling of the body.
So we've learned something then.
Oh yes. It can make you become enlightened, reach the first level of enlightenment. the first level of enlightenment, you have to pass the test of pain and death.
Right.
If you can do that, then in your next life, you will not be afraid of death or pain.
I see. I understand. Last question. My daughter has had a baby 2 months early. He's doing really well, and obviously I'm helping with practical things. But is there anything I can do by thinking positive thoughts about them, or is it all only practical things I can do?
Well, thinking a positive thought is good because it will make you, will make you not stressful. It's for your benefit, not for them. You cannot do anything for them really, except the physical thing that you do. But other than that, they just have to manage themselves also. As far as the mental part, everybody has to handle themselves on the mental part. But the physical part, we can help each other.
Yes. Thank you.
So do what you can, but like I said, don't expect anything. Expect the worst, then you won't be disappointed. You won't be sad. If you expect the best, when it doesn't happen, then it makes you sad.
Thank you for your teaching.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, Philip and Adeline from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajaan.
Good evening, Ajaan.
I don't have any questions tonight.
No questions from me.
Okay, Sui and Chair from Vancouver, Canada, British Columbia.
Expect the worst, hope for the best, Ajaan. Ajaan's teaching.
Do what you can and do what you can.
Do what you can. Okay. Try your best.
Yeah.
Do
your best.
Do your best. Ajaan,
don't rely on other people.
Don't rely.
Try not to rely on other people. Rely on yourself.
Yeah, I like this one too. Yeah, you say it's common sense, but I realized that I don't have common sense, Ajaan. I had to learn all from you.
You have delusion. So you have delusion. Delusion makes you lose common sense.
Right. Yeah, because you say, I say, oh, great advice, Ajaan. You say, oh, no, that's not great advice. That's just common sense. And I thought, oh, yeah, I don't have common sense. So stupid. Ajaan, well, I have a question about forgiveness. Like, is this the correct way to think? Like, I just learned this from the sutta that the Buddha said, like, if somebody scold you, you say, oh, at least they didn't hit me. But if they hit you, you say, oh, at least they didn't stab me or something. And then if they stab you, you say, oh, at least they didn't kill me. But if they kill you, you say, oh yeah, I'm gonna die anyway, right? So like if like somebody do you wrong, is that the way you forgive? Like you say, like if people like hurt you and you say, well, at least they didn't like hurt me physically or something like that. Like, is that how you forgive people?
That's one way of doing it if you can do it. It's just to tell yourself not to do anything. Not to expect anything, not to anything better. Expect the worst. Like this, come back to the word expect.
Okay.
They don't like you. Well, that's better than saying something bad about me. So it's the same principle. Not expecting anything from anybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's the way to forgive people.
But forgive is really, and you have to look at another point also. When you forgive, you're the one who benefit from your forgiveness, not the person that you forgive. You know that? Because when you don't forgive, you're angry, and you cannot go to bed, cannot go to sleep. Yeah. But once you forgive, you feel easy and you forget about the problem and you can go to sleep easily. So you're the one who benefit from your own forgiveness, not the other person.
Mm.
The other person don't know whether you forgive them or not, right?
Yeah, they don't know.
But you know, you're angry or you're not angry. See? And the way to stop your anger is to forgive. That's all.
Oh,
That's the real reason for forgiveness.
oh,
What the Buddha said, that was that was not about forgiveness. It's about when you're faced with difficult people, how you deal with them.
oh.
If they don't like you, say, well, at least they don't say anything bad to you.
Okay.
And if they say anything bad to you, well, at least they don't hit you. So this is a different reason, not about forgiveness. It's about how to deal with people who who doesn't like you.
Oh.
When you have to live with people who hate you, for instance, how do you deal with them?
So the last word, like if they kill you, is this if they
So
kill
you're
you?
gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
Some people have to go to a doctor to get medicine to kill themselves or buy a gun. You know, you don't have to pay any money.
So you think like the way you think is like yeah, I don't know, like just then that's not common sense to me, but because of Ajaan, I think I get common sense now, like to think properly, not to.
What can you do if you're gonna die? Can you stop your dying when it's gonna happen?
That's true, Ajaan. But I don't know, somehow like if I don't.
It doesn't mean that you cannot run away or hide or anything. If you want to do that, that's fine also.
Okay.
But then you're creating stress for yourself if you do that. You'll worry. Yeah. But if you say, well, if it's my karma, let it happen, then you have no stress, no worry. Just wait for that to come to you.
Oh. Never thought of it that way. So
that's what the Venerable Mokkallana,
oh.
he died, he was killed, I think, from the
Yeah.
story. And he said if he run away today, they'll come after him tomorrow anyway.
Yeah.
So he just decided to stop running and just face the consequence.
Oh.
But his mind is not disturbed. He's already had let go of his attachment to his body long time ago. And he's just been waiting for years for these things to happen.
Oh.
So what's the point of running away from it?
Yeah.
Maybe in the past he did something to that person or killed somebody. Now it's time for him to be killed, that's all. And he accepts that. But his mind is not disturbed, is not troubled by the death of his body. He had already passed the test. He already passed the test of death. So death to him doesn't mean anything. Living or dying to him is equal. Because he has no attachment for anything in this world anyway. And living just because the body still lives, that's why he lives. If the body stops living, then he disconnects from the body, that's all. Okay, anything else? Sri?
Ajaan, like, don't we have to preserve like this life, right? Like,
Oh yes, I'm saying if you can do it, do it. But if you cannot do it, what can you do?
Keep running.
I preserve my life. I eat it. I eat every day. I breathe every day. But if somebody should break in my room and point a gun at me and shoot me, what can I do? Can you preserve your life if someone break in and shoot you?
Yeah,
do the possible. And
Yeah,
let
do-
the impossible be. Let the impossible be. Do the possible.
Mm,
But you should not defend yourself by killing the attacker, because then you're committing another crime, another bad karma that you might have to pay later in your future life.
mm,
Because you're gonna die anyway. Why create another death? When you kill to protect, you still die anyway, right? Maybe later on, not today. But you're creating a new debt that you will have to pay in your future life. And you might have to be born in the lower realm of existence also. Might be born as an animal instead of return as human. Once you kill, you're committing a bad karma, which you have to pay by being born in a lower realm of existence. And after you return as human, you might still be killed by someone else.
mm.
So it's better not to create any death when you die. You die anyway, right? Come back to the same thing that we talked about early on. If it's gonna kill you, what can you do? You're gonna die anyway. But let's die without any death, not by not creating any death, any future death.
Mm.
Okay.
In the Q&A last Friday, somebody asked you that if there's a somebody suicide, you said they'll go to hell. Is it because they are angry with themselves, like that they go to hell?
Yes.
So I know somebody that got cancer, and then he killed he did euthanasia because he was afraid that he will be too much pain. Like that's considered suicide. Like he euthanized himself. Like
Same thing as if you make your
afraid
body
of it.
die, if you make your body die, whichever method you use, you're still killing. And when
But
you
the
kill, it means
reason
you
they say
hate
that-
you hate that thing. Right? If you love that thing, you won't kill that thing.
Oh.
But
The
you
reason is they're
might
afraid
use some
that
other justification, but deep down inside you hate that body. You don't want that body anymore. You want to get rid of the body
Oh.
because that body is creating pain for you.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Again, so from Penang.
Ajahn, good evening. And Ajahn, one of my friends took avocado as during the 8 precepts. Is that okay? As drink. She used blender and make it into small pieces, become a juice.
Can you repeat the question? I cannot hear it properly.
One of my friends took avocado as drink during the 8 precepts. Is that okay?
I'm not sure whether avocado is considered to be fruit or not, or vegetable. If it's vegetable, then it's considered to be food. Fruit is something that you can squeeze the juice out.
She used blender, so
I know
mixed with water,
blender is
yeah.
not the way to squeeze the juice out. You are just you're just chopping up the fruit, the thing. So it depends on how you define avocado, whether it's fruit or whether it's vegetable.
Okay.
If it's fruit, then if it's not bigger than the size of your palm, then you can use it, the juice from that fruit for drink in the afternoon, after the meal, after midday. But actually what the body needs is not the avocado juice, really. The body just needs water. Why don't you just tell us to drink water? Better. It's your defilement that wants the taste of the avocado.
Okay, I will inform her, Ajahn. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
This will solve the problem. Yeah. Just drink water. In the after the meal, after midday, just drink water when you're thirsty. Forget about everything else. Very simple. I also fast. I also keep this precept. Keeping this precept is to stop your mind from enjoying the thing that you drink or eat. See? So this is sensual pleasure. So you don't want to indulge in sensual pleasure. So you keep the 8 precept, the 6, the not eating or not drinking after midday. So your body actually just need the water. It doesn't need the juice, the taste or the smell of the juice. It just needs water.
Okay, I will inform her. Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Juan Liman from Malaysia.
Ajaan, yeah, I realize without mindfulness and knowing, although the mind is relatively quiet, it can be absorbed in that stagnant state. But to maintain a continuity of mindfulness needs a great effort. So can a lay person develop continuity mindfulness from morning until night, or only those who has attained sainthood?
Well, each individual has different ability in developing or maintaining mindfulness. If you have done a lot in the past, then it will be easy for you to do now. It doesn't matter whether you're a lay person or a monk. Yeah. Lots of monks cannot maintain mindfulness, just like lay people. Just being a monk, it just means it gives you more opportunity to develop mindfulness. That's all, because you don't have to engage with people or business or anything like that. So that gives you a better opportunity to develop mindfulness. But if you don't have past mindfulness, you'll find it difficult. You'll be struggling like just when you're a lay person. But you can overcome this by persistence, exertion, by keep pushing yourself to be mindful. And you just have to keep trying. You have to keep trying, try. Don't give up.
So the methods we can use is to be mindful of the body movements, anything to do with the body from gross until subtle, and also we can chant a mantra.
As far as the body, just what the action of the body, not gross or subtle, just the action. Walking, standing, sitting, eating, running, or whatever you do, just focus on that action.
Just knowing what is happening.
Yeah, just watch. If you don't have to think, that's better. But some work will require that you have to think about the work, then you have to think. But otherwise, if you don't have to think, like boiling water, you don't have to do much thinking, right? You just put the water in the kettle and then put it on the stove. But if you have to do some accounting, then you have to think.
No, I don't have a job that I need to think. I just do tuition to one student only. I don't need much thinking. That's why I feel that I'm so stagnant. My mind is so absorbed in that stagnant state and not mindful. Yeah, not thinking.
What do you mean by stagnant?
That means it's like not thinking much when I'm not really need to think.
Well, that's good. You want your mind to stop thinking. It's not considered stagnant in the practice. You want to stop thinking, but you're still mindful of what you do.
But I'm not noting every activities that I'm doing. That means not mindful.
You have to watch every activity. You don't have to know. Just watch. Just know what you're doing.
I don't have to say I'm doing this now. Just watch.
No. Just know what you're doing. When you're walking, just watch your steps. Yeah. When you brush your teeth, just wash your hand and brushing your teeth.
Oh,
You don't have to know to say, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm brushing my teeth. You don't have to do that.
okay. Okay. Okay, I understand. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Christine Coe from Penang.
Good evening, Long Po. Today I don't have question, but my family have question. Can I read for you?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yeah. They have two questions. For the first one, they asking, kindly advise what is the best donation for Sangha Dana? Is it money, food, or medicine, or robes?
Everything is good. But sometimes they have so much of something, then they don't have enough of something else. This is something you have to ask the monastery themselves. What do you really need? Don't be shy. You can tell us. They may say, oh, we need to pay electricity. We have lots of bill we have to pay. And they would need money. See? But for them to say they need money, they might be accused of being greedy for money. Because sometimes they have more food, more than they can use, more roof than they can use. But they don't have enough money to pay for the temple expenses or repair and things like that you don't see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For second question, they are asking, when we give dana to monks, can provide money and say this is money for medicine fund, or is it better to provide physical medicine for monks? I think provide money as medical fund is easier and convenient for monks to pay their medical expenditure and medicine. Is it right?
Well, you can do both way, or you can give the money and tell the monk this is for the medicine. If the monk should need some medicine, then he can use it for buying the medicine. Or if you know the monk use a particular type of medicine, then you can buy that particular type. Because medicine are so many, right? You don't know which medicine a monk might be using or not using. If you buy medicine, you might buy something that he cannot use anyway, so it will be useless for him.
So if we do not know which type of medicine is suitable to the Sangha or entire Sangha group or that temple, so is it better for us to donate money?
It is good, and it can be what you call. It can be either a blessing or a curse. Money depends on the people who accept the money. See? Sometimes if the person accept the money is weak, it might be used for the defilement instead for the medicine. So it depends on the receiver of the money also. That's why the Buddha at first prohibited monks to receive money. Yeah. But then later on, due to some reason that monks might need to buy some special medicine or some other special need, then the Buddha allowed monks to receive money. But he said that the monks themselves cannot keep the money themselves. The money has to be kept by a trusted person. And when the monk needs something, then he can tell the trusted person to go buy it for him, not he himself go buy. Because if you give money and the monk can, nowadays there are different temples and they follow different rules. Some temples allow monks to keep money and carry money with them and buy things by themselves. And some temples don't allow monks to do that. So if a monk is weak, he might want to buy a new iPhone or go to Singapore, to visit his friends in Singapore. So he might use the money to pay for the trip and whatever. You give him the money. So it can be both a blessing and a curse. So I don't know how to advise. It's up to you.
So what about we can donate to the kapia?
Well, the temple has a central fund or the temple fund,
yeah.
but then it's only used for the temple business, the expenses business, not the personal business, not the personal expense of the monk. So maybe you give a little bit of money for the monk for personal expense, and give the major portion to the temple for the temple expenses. You have to separate the two.
Because we are thinking to make marriage like saving funds for future life. So what is the best conditions for us, because we are in Penang, it's hardly for us enter into Thai and the forest. Then a lot of time we how do I say, we ask people, we keep our we give our money to the person who go to Thailand, then we mona the funds to them, asking them to donate to the temple or to the Sangha or Katina. So is it, can we do like that? Because we don't have the opportunity to do daily pintabata to all the Sangha.
You can do it locally, you can give it to some other organization. But unless you want to support Buddhism, then you have to donate it to the temple. But you can do charity with other organizations. If you don't particularly want to support Buddhism, then you can still do charity with other, like to donate to the Red Cross or to the hospitals or school near your home or something like that. You can also do that if you find it difficult to donate to temples in Thailand.
Okay, so is that the same merits if we donate ourselves or we mona people to carry the funds to the temple? Is that same quality of the merit if we also feel very happy?
Yes, you get the same merit, but the beneficiary might get or might not get. It depends on the person who to transfer the money for you. Because you don't know, right, whether the person will transfer the money to the monastery or not.
Maybe halfway gone.
But you just have to trust that person.
True enough. Yeah.
Okay, enough of this.
Yeah. So maybe I still donate ourselves, but thank you, Long Po, thank you.
Okay. Okay, Evie next from Indonesia. You also from Medan, Evie?
Yeah, Ajahn.
Medan.
True. Yeah. Ajahn, we can know. I never write I'm from Medan.
But I heard you said from Medan once before, I think.
Ajahn has a very, how I say, very remember all the things.
Some memory, some no, sometimes I forget.
Memory.
What I owe people, I usually forget. What people owe me, I always remember.
It's good Ajahn can remember me. Is the remember is the part from Sati, Ajahn?
It's Sanya, one of the four Namakanda. Sanya, perception or memory.
So the sensual pleasure who always make us very happy, is that also apart from Sankhara?
The sensory comes to the Vijnana.
The sensual pleasure.
It comes to Vijnana, and then it's perceived by Sanya, and then it produce Vedana, good feeling or bad feeling. Once you know what type of sensual object you are experiencing, If it's good, you have good feeling. If it's bad, you have bad feeling.
And every time when I see people eating and give the reaction, oh, this is delicious, it's just the part of sensual pleasure. And if we enjoy the sensual pleasure, like eating delicious food, can it be the hindrance for a person who is practitioner?
Yes, when you meditate, you want to forget about all the sensual pleasures. If you think, then you will start to have cravings for it. Then you cannot concentrate on your meditation practice. Then you start to go look for something in the refrigerator.
When we meditate, it's impossible to think about the delicious food. But after we meditate, this is delicious. I want to go buy this food, that food. This is the hindrance also, Ajahn.
Yes, because then you will keep going back to this thing. If you can stop this, then you can have more time to meditate.
This is the consider from losing mindfulness. Losing mindfulness.
Yes, when you lose mindfulness, then your defilements start to come into action, come into play. When you have mindfulness, your defilement cannot work.
So it's hard to maintain it all day, Ajahn. From we get up.
Yes, if you can, you can become enlightened already a long time ago. The reason why you are not enlightened because you cannot maintain mindfulness.
Yeah, it's very, very hard to do. And Ajahn, I want to ask about what is different between contemplation and thinking.
Same thing, same thing. You think or you contemplate. The purpose of contemplating or thinking is to study the nature of the body. So you contemplate on the nature of the body. Is it permanent or impermanent? Is it belong to you or doesn't belong to you? So this is what you want to teach your mind. To teach your mind the truth of the body. The body is not permanent. It's changing all the time. And it will become something else later on. Eventually, it will turn into the four elements again. So this is something you want to contemplate or study.
Yeah, 2 days ago my family died, and I see when she lies in the coffin, I see the blood comes out from the nose.
Yes, that's the water element leaving the body.
Leaving the body. Yeah, and this is the 4th day after she died, and I thinking maybe the body is starting to swollen, and maybe a week they will boom, like explosion.
Explode, yes, explode.
Yeah, explode. Maybe for 1 week we will
all
be
the fluid will come out, and eventually the what is left just the solid part of the body. First goal is the wind or the air leaves the body first, then followed by the heat, the fire element, and then followed by the water. Eventually, all that is left is just the solid part or the earth element. It will become rot. It will eventually become earth, become dust, become earth. This is what you have to study to teach your mind that you are not the body. The mind is just the one who knows, the one who feels, the one who thinks, the one who uses the body to achieve its purpose. That is to contact the sensual objects for sensual pleasure. That's why the mind needs the body. And that's why the mind doesn't want the body to die. So when the mind thinks of the death of the mind become unhappy. The mind doesn't want the body to die. But if
Too
you constantly
scary.
teach the mind that this is gonna happen, whether you like it or not, if you don't want to
Yeah.
be sad, then you just have to accept it. Once you accept that, yes, one day this body will die and there's nothing you can do about it, and then you will not be afraid of death anymore.
But the
Because you
pain,
know you cannot run away from it. You cannot do anything else. This is the way it's gonna happen.
Ajahn, we afraid the pain.
The pain, then you have to learn to study the nature of the pain. That's the next subject you have to teach your mind. The pain is just like anything else. It's just something that it's just contact of the body, with something painful, But it cannot hurt the mind. The mind is not the one who's in pain. It's the body that's in pain. So why should the mind be disturbed by the pain of the body? Just because the mind doesn't like the pain, that's all. That's the problem. So you have to stop this dislike of the pain and teach the mind to learn to like the pain, to accept the pain.
Much
Because
people
you have to live with it. It's
too
like
hard,
teaching
Ajahn.
yourself to live with somebody you don't like. Once you can accept that person that you don't like, that you're gonna have to live with that person forever, then eventually you learn to like that person.
Yeah, it's
By being familiar with that person. After a while, instead of hating that person, you might enjoy that person, like that person.
This is karma, bad karma.
You're just changing your habit, that's all. From hating your pain to teach your mind to like pain instead of hating pain.
I think pain, yeah.
Or accept pain.
This is
At least you don't have to like it, but at least accept it. Don't deny it.
as karma.
Don't push it away.
Yeah.
Accept it like you accept the rain, the storm. You don't like the storm or the rain, but you accept it, right?
Yeah. We just hide in the house if the
Well, you can hide
storm,
you can hide in samadhi, you can hide in equanimity. So you have practiced a lot of samadhi, then you have equanimity to hide behind your pain.
I
Okay.
often see people, they choose better they die rather
But
than getting sick like this.
But they have to come back and do the same thing again next life.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, Ajahn.
All right.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Next is our regular last entrant, Sulan. How come you always come in last?
I came home late. I was OTing at work. Then I had late dinner before I came in.
Okay, you have anything to say or ask?
Yeah, sorry, Ajahn. I have a question. I was reading the sutta or that talks about giving. Let me see. So I saw that the Buddha actually listed down some of the possible motivation for being generous. So he said that some people give for their own profit, or they give because it's good, or because it's a family tradition, or because they are well off, or because they were inspired by people that gave also, or they give because it makes the mind serene. But above all, he said that the best form of giving is when it is an ornament for the mind and a support for the mind. So I didn't quite understand why the best form of giving is an ornament for the mind.
Because it makes the mind beautiful. See? A person who gives will be loved by other people, like Santa Claus.
Oh.
See, when you give, nobody hates you, right? When you take away things from them, they'll hate you. But if you give them things, they won't hate you. They will like you. That's ornament for the mind. It makes the mind beautiful, makes the person beautiful. You don't have to put on fashion clothes. design the clothes to make yourself beautiful. You can make yourself beautiful by giving to charity.
Yes.
Like Bill Gates, he gave a lot of money away.
Oh. Yeah. And then it says besides it is an ornament for the mind, it is also support of the mind. So by
Yes, it supports you. It makes the mind, will make the mind less greedy, and it will make the mind less attached to money.
Oh, okay. So that's how it supports the mind.
Yeah, because it will give less dukkha for the mind. See, if you're greedy, it will create dukkha for the mind. Even if you have plenty of money, more than you can use, but if you still have one more money, then you're just like somebody who has no money.
Yeah.
It makes you feel poor, even though we have lots of money. But as soon as you want more money, then it makes you feel like you're like a beggar or like a poor person. By giving, it will make you have contentment as far as money is concerned. Oh, I have plenty of money. I don't need any more money. That's why I'm giving money away, right?
Oh, yes.
But if you say, oh, I still need more money, then you're still hungry. You're still greedy. And you're not happy when you're greedy, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And
it will also make you keep the precept easier. Because when you give money to people, it means you have kindness. You want to make people happy. You don't want to make people hurt by your action. So it will be easier for you to keep the precept. Because you don't want to hurt other people. Because you want to help, you want to make other people happy.
Yeah.
So this is what Dana will support the practice of sila.
Okay. Then I think one of the challenge I have is sometimes I don't know what I could give. Then I would end up spending a lot of time to think about what gift should I give. Like I can't really decide on one. Then end up my gifts will be sent out a little late. Yeah. So and it creates like stress to me, like what gift should I give? I cannot like pin down a gift. Yeah.
How much should you give or who you should give?
Yeah, and what should I give? So that's some of the things.
Well, first you have to find out who you want to give. Then you find out what they need. Then you give them what they need.
Okay.
You don't give them what you want to give, because sometimes what you want to give is not something they need.
Yes.
The other day, someone gave me a big chair, a new chair, and I don't need it. I already have one chair. So I gave it away.
Yes.
But I cannot tell them, I shouldn't tell them that don't give me that chair because you don't want to hurt their feeling, because they have good intention.
Yeah. Like I remember I gave out some gifts to my family members, then end up like, oh, they didn't like it, or like I got I didn't get the right gift for them. Yeah.
You have to be observant, look at them, see what they like, what they don't like, and because when you give, you want to make them happy. If you don't know, then you just give them a gift voucher or something like that, in which then they can go and buy what they want, what they need.
Yeah, that's a good idea also.
Or give money to them, put in an envelope and say, this is a gift for you. I don't know what you need, so I'll let you decide for yourself.
Oh yes, that's very smart. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Then I have another question, which is I think on the just now Evie was asking about the sanya. Then sanya meaning perception. So like, is there any way that we can strengthen our sanya?
Yes, we have to change our sanya because our sanya is delusional sanya, not real, not about the truth. It's about delusion. We think of people, the body of people as man, woman, instead of thinking of them as being the four elements, for instance. So you have to change your perception of things. You tend to look at things as conducive to your happiness. But in fact, everything that you see is not conducive to your happiness. Everything is dukkha. Because they change, they will come to an end one day. And when that happens, they will give you dukkha, suffering, sadness.
Yeah.
So this is our goal in Buddhism, is to change our perception of things. By using the wisdom of the Buddha, the three characteristics of wisdom, and the Four Noble Truths. This is how we reinforce and change the good sanya. Right now we have the bad sanya, the sanya that create dukkha for us all the time.
Oh yes, yeah. And like I sometimes don't even realize that I'm having a delusional sanya because it seems so right.
Yeah, when you think your body is you, that's already delusional sanya.
Yeah.
The Buddha said the body is not you. The body is just the four elements. It doesn't belong to anybody. It just comes from the four elements, and it will return to the four elements one day.
Yes.
This is what you have to change your perception and maintain that new perception all the time. But keep constantly thinking about it.
Okay. Then in terms of memory, should we actually try to strengthen our memory?
Only on the essential memory, who you are, what's your name, where your house is, and things like this. You have to don't forget this thing, because if you forget them, you can be a problem for you. So constantly remind yourself, how much money you have, where you live, and what you have to do, and all these things. This is something you have to constantly remind yourself of. But you don't have to remember what you eat yesterday or what you did yesterday. It's not important anymore. Just remember what you need to know, what you have to know. What you don't need to know, then you don't have to worry about it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because I'm thinking like if we are being forgetful, then would that be like as a Buddhist, should we actually try to be trained towards having a strong memory?
Well, you do. Like if you forget today's Tuesday, if you forget, if you think it's Sunday, then you won't go to work, right?
Yes.
But you constantly remind yourself, today is Tuesday, I have to go to work. Tomorrow is Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay, so you have to constantly remind yourself of what you need to do. Sometimes you forget, that's why you put in a memo, and then you check it from time to time, right? Check your calendar. Oh, when do I have appointment? What do I have to do?
Yes.
This is reinforcing your memories.
But would it be like a preoccupation, like being very preoccupied with the future? And
no, just do the essentials. What is not essential, then you don't do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Got it.
And once you don't forget, then you don't have to think about it. It's only when you forget, then you have to remind yourself, oh, I have to do this tomorrow. But if you already know that what you're gonna do tomorrow, then you don't have to keep telling yourself that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ajaan. Thank you so much.
And in order to be able to do this, you have to have mindfulness. Yeah, because the mindfulness will be the one to remind you that this is what you have to do. If you have no mindfulness, then you can start daydreaming and forget about everything else.
Yes.
So practice mindfulness, and then you won't be forgetful.
Okay.
If you have no mindfulness, you can be forgetful. You can forget what you're supposed to remember.
Yes. Yeah.
But if you have mindfulness, your mindfulness always can remind yourself. Okay?
Okay.
Mindfulness is a very important tool for the mind. If you have good, strong mindfulness, you will have a good mental health. No mental problem.
Okay.
Mental problem come from the lack of mindfulness. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, who else is on the line here? Ricardo, I think Ricardo. It's your turn, Ricardo, from Uruguay.
Nice to see you, John.
Good to see you.
Yes. Right now, I'm very glad to see you, and I don't have questions, and I bought my ticket to Thailand on January, so hopefully I
Okay.
will see you.
How long you plan to stay this time?
3-4 days.
3-4 days only.
Oh yeah.
Then you're going someplace else or going back?
No, going to stay somewhere else with my wife.
In Thailand?
Thailand, yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, how long you stay in Thailand? That's what I mean when I ask you that.
15 days about.
That's all.
Yeah.
Travel all the way here just to stay for 15 days. Is it worth it?
My wife has to work,
I see.
and
Okay.
so
Yeah.
next year she's
okay.
going to retire. So that time we will be able to stay longer.
Okay. You plan to stay in monastery or you're in hotels?
Hotel.
Hotel. This is not a spiritual trip. This is a vacation trip.
Well, I mean, I'd like to stay in your temple for 5 days and then go to a hotel because she's very tired and she needs to rest, and I think I should stay with her some days.
Okay, good. So it's both spiritual and vacation at the same time.
Yeah.
50-50.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see you then when you come.
Okay. Thank you, Ajaan.
Okay. Bruce Lee Alam Saya of Indonesia.
I don't have any questions, Ajaan.
No question.
No questions, thank you.
Okay. B. Ravin from Bangkok, Thailand.
Hi, good evening, Ajaan. I have 2 questions today. The first question is regarding, I think, what you discussed with Sui and Check earlier regarding, not holding on to the body. If it has to die, it has to die. So my question is, if, because human nature, we are taught to, preserve the body, to protect the body, but it's wrong to kill to protect. So my question is, if we do some act of self-defense, but not to kill, is this acceptable, or is it still breaking the first precept?
Oh yes, if you can apprehend your attacker or stop your attacker from attacking you, then you can do that. But sometimes you might run into impossible situation in which when you start to fight, you might end up killing. But then that's the one you have to decide how much you want to do. Yes, if you can run away if you want. If you can hide, or whatever. But if that person is determined to kill you, he'll come after you anyway, right? If not today, I'll come back again tomorrow. So it depends on the situation. The point is try not to be stressful under this situation. If you can fight without being stressful, fight. If you can avoid without being stressful, avoid, Or if you should die, you should die without being stressful, then die. Okay. The goal is not about the body, the goal is about the mind. It's to prevent the mind from being stressful.
I mean, I think the only regret would be, oh, if I have to die, I won't have the chance to progress further on the path of Dharma. But that is a craving, right? We shouldn't have that.
Well, you can do it now. It's just an excuse for you to use not to die, that's all. You got plenty of time now, why don't you do it now? Why do you feel remorse before you die? You can do it, finish in 7 days or 7 months or 7 years. If you go and ordain and live as a monk now, what stops you from doing that? And you still feel remorseful before you die. Oh, I couldn't finish my work. That's because you're not doing your work now. So you never finish your work anyway. Whether you die now or 10 years from now, you still have the same reason for not dying. Oh, I will not be able to become enlightened in this life if I die now. Well, you have the opportunity now to become enlightened. It's up to you. The Buddha said you can do it in 7 days, 7 years, 7 months, or 7 years. Just follow the Satipatthana Sutta and do it all the time, full time work. This is not a part-time work. Not something you do on the weekend only. You do it every day, 7 days a week, 20 hours a day. You're allowed to sleep 4 hours a day, according to the Buddha's instruction.
Yes, we have to live as if today is our last day, right? It's to have contemplation of death. It can come anytime, so we must not let it go to waste.
That's right. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, right?
Actually, that helps, Ajaan. Whenever I remind myself, have I done enough? And if I know I haven't, then I'll say, okay, I have to try harder. That kind of serves as motivation.
The Buddha advised us that we should constantly thinking about the passing of the time. Time keep passing away, minute after minute. What are you doing now? Ask yourself this question. Are you practicing or not? This is what you should be asking yourself. Because you're not practicing, then you're wasting your precious time. So either you have to, if you don't ask yourself, then you forget, and then you get involved in your day-to-day routine, and then you forget the real important work that you're supposed to be doing. And then suddenly when you get sick or death come knocking at your door and say, oh, I don't want to die because I'm not enlightened yet. When will you be enlightened then? When do you expect to be enlightened if you don't do the practice now? But maybe I'm speaking to I should be speaking to you all because you're not the group ready for that anyway. They need to commit full time for the practice. So don't mind me. I'm just talking, since the subject comes up, so I just continue with the subject. But it doesn't mean I'm referring to you all. You should have to decide how much you can do, because you all have responsibility and you have whatever, that will prevent you from doing the practice. But I was just talking ideally, that you can do it if you really wanted to do it, but you have to give up everything. If you really want to become enlightened, bad enough, you can give up everything. But if not bad enough, then you won't be able to give it up. Okay.
So Ajaan, I mean, some people who live as lay people but still become enlightened is because they have very strong mindfulness and wisdom that they obtain from their past lives.
They also have time to practice also. If they have from their past life, they should be enlightened after they become adult, when they understand things. They can be, but if not, they still have to do the practice. But maybe for them it might be easier because they might have done half of the work already, and they only have to do the other half. But for someone who hasn't done anything at all, then they have to start from scratch. That may take a longer time. That's why the Buddha divided into 3 stages: 7 days, 7 months, or 7 years. This varies from person to person, depending on what they have accumulated from their past lives. And this doesn't refer to whether you're a monk or a lay person. It means the amount of practice that you do. If you're a monk and you're not practicing, you'll be like a lay person who doesn't practice. But if you're a lay person and you practice and you do nothing else, then you're like a monk who practices all the time. It's the action that counts. It's not what you are, who you are. It's what you do.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else?
Yeah. Just the second question, Ajaan, you mentioned that people who are partially enlightened, like Sotapannas, for example, if they were to die, they would not need the teaching of the Buddha, because in the next life they will be able to practice by themselves. So do I understand correctly? This means they will be born at a time where there is Buddhism available, so they can continue their practice into Nibbana?
See, you don't know where you're going to be born next time, whether there'll be Buddhism or not. See. But once you know the path, you don't need anybody to guide you anymore. See. A Sotapanna knows the path to Nibbana, but he hasn't reached it yet. He only reached the first stage, but he can continue on by himself without a teacher, without Buddhism to guide him, because he already had Buddhism in his system, in his mind. He knows the Four Noble Truths. He knows the 3 characteristics of existence that he can use to get rid of the remaining defilement that is still left in his mind. But if he has a teacher, it will be easier and quicker, because whenever he comes into if he doesn't understand any part, he can then consult with his teacher, and his teacher will then give a clarification for him.
So it's all in the mind. It doesn't matter about what body we take, where we are born. If it's instilled already, it will never go away. It will stay.
That's right.
With us.
Once you have the Four Noble Truths instilled in your mind, it will never leave the mind. It will not be forgotten.
So this is one of the rare instances of something that is permanent. It stays with you permanently. It will not disappear.
That's right. That's why
Unlike
you remain,
jhana.
That's why you remain a sotapanna forever. You don't come back as an ordinary person anymore. You only go up. You don't come back down. Once you reach the supramundane level, the Lokuttara Dhamma, that level we call the supramundane. But if you're on the mundane level of samadhi, then you can still lose samadhi. If you don't maintain the practice, if you can enter jhana and then you stop doing it for 10 years and you come back and do it again, you will not be able to enter into jhana right away. You forget how to do it.
But you cannot forget how to be a sotapanna because it's wisdom. You cannot unlearn something, right? Once you learn it, you know it.
Once you let go of your body, you no longer go back and cling to your body anymore, because you know the difference between clinging and not clinging. When you cling, you have stress. When you don't cling, you don't have any stress, and we don't want stress, right? So we don't cling. That's all.
So it's Bhava Tanha and Vibhava Tanha to get rid of both of them.
Yes, all the three cravings you have to get rid of. Okay.
Yep. Thank you, Ajaan.
All right. I think we'll go to Kunjup for more questions from Facebook if there's any.
We have one question this evening so far, Katina Ajaan. The question is from the Multiversal Unity. Dear Ajaan, most of the devas arise after living human lives, usually forget their last human lives unless with reminding. Is my understanding correct, and why is this so?
I don't know. I'm not a deva. I won't be able to explain to you. It's just like you move from one town to the next. You can forget afterward the town that you used to live, because you don't frequent it every day, so you can lose you can forget. If you're not used to repeat doing things repeatedly, you can forget. Memory can be lost after a certain period of time if you don't have any reinforcement. If you don't see a person for a while, next time you see that person, you might forget the name of that person.
That's all for this evening so far, Ka.
Okay, we have some more time left. So if anybody would like to, okay, Taiwan, Eugene first. Eugene from Taiwan.
Ajaan, can I ask a question? If all for monk, traditional dancing and the music, is it allowed?
Pardon me, can you repeat the question?
Because some supporter invites monk to have a lunch. At that situation, can they offer the traditional dancing and the music at the same time in that ceremony?
If you're Buddhist, you understand that this is not something proper to do when you invite monks to your house. You want to make the house like a temple. You don't want to. But nowadays people don't understand. Sometimes they bring entertainment into the temple itself to attract people to come to the temple to donate money. So they bring in movies, they bring in dancing troops and concerts. But this is not proper. Monastery should be a quiet place for meditation, not for sensual pleasure activity.
Okay, I see. Because I see some Thai people in Islam, they do the traditional dancing and the music for monks.
That's because they don't understand what is proper and not proper.
I see. Thank you. And another question is, the holy disciple all have different personality, and which one you most admire? For example, Shariputra and Moggallana have a little bit different style. One is famous about wisdom, and another is about the meditation skill.
Yes.
So which one is more you want to become?
We like them both because they are all fully enlightened. That's more important.
Thank you.
Okay, Sajalka, you raised your hand just now. Sajalka. Okay, I ask you to unmute. Okay, go ahead. You.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Yeah. So what? Since there's a little bit of time left, I'm just kind of giving some feedback on the discussion that we have. For example, from Diana's question and more recently on Ravin's question that was raised, and it connects back to forgiveness and metta, and this also reminds me when I read this particular sutta. This is from translation and example, and it saw, and there in there it kind of, when you read that, it kind of brings you immediately the words of Jesus Christ, that when he was crucified, that I mean, we learn from the history. I'm not a Christian myself. That Father, forgive them; they don't know what they are doing. And if you read this sutta, this simile of the two-handed saw, and it connects back to Rabin's questions about this thing when he's being attacked, whether he will have time, he may not have time left to practice, and as whether he can go on defense. But if you read this sutta, you will see that the metta to infinity being talked about Lord Buddha, and actually instructing the monks, in fact, about these things, and that means he's somebody almost like tearing apart, like Jesus Christ being crucified live, and he's kind of forgiving and practicing metta. And so this is like something, this is like remarkable in the sense that so much forgiveness, so much these things that the metta they talk about, but in that particular sutta, how Lord Buddha is actually explaining to the students, to the monks, is kind of unbelievable. It's almost like I will actually beseech Garvin to read it. Then you'll be amazed that. And I was kind of really amazed by this thing, that the amount of the forgiveness that he's actually asking us to do. I mean, we're all lay people, but to the monks, this thing that is almost like infinite, this thing amount of that. And actually, if I understand it correctly, like he's kind of saying that that's the ultimate of practice, because you already know that your body, whether it's torn from pieces to pieces or cut with a saw and take limb by limb, this thing, you are not getting mad at the person. That, right? So that we already brought enlightenment. So again, coming back to Ravi's these things about that then of course he doesn't have to worry about it because he's already enlightened. And so it's very interesting that the thought came to my mind, and I thought I'll take some time and to bring this up. And one last thing, I think we do have some time. So another practitioner from Silver Spring, who happens to be from Thailand and listen to the Zoom on the Thai side, actually brought a picture of Ajaan. I don't know whether you can see in the glare. And
yes.
That's the yes. And so I know you don't like sentimentalities, and you discourage us from even from the images of Lord Buddha. Keeping these things are not necessary, but this has sentimental values because the lady Hui actually visited you in person, and I'm not lucky enough, and I don't know whether I'll be lucky enough in my lifetime or not. But she visited you, and again, sentimentality, that this picture was touched by you, so which you usually don't do. But she maybe tricked you into doing that, or you just forgot about that, so you did touch these pictures, and I think, and she actually came and gave them to me. And I think so the connections, the cycle is kind of very interestingly kind of completed. So that's all I have to say. Yeah, thank you very much, Ajaan.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Next, I think is Christine Koe. Okay, Christine Koe from Penang.
Sorry, Long Paul, just now came across to the practice. Long Paul said either like 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 months, or 7 years to attain either like Sotapanna or achieve. If I'm not here wrong. So another my understanding was from the previous Dharma saying that if want to achieve Sotapan, if not mistaken, for the past parami, we have to practice for at least 1,000 asankaya, the formation of the world. So is it we need to have a good parami in order that we can have the good result, or if we really put 100% to practice so we can see the result?
Say your past parami that you have established, it's not as valuable as the parami of meeting the Buddha. Even if we have accumulated a lot of past parami before, if you haven't run into the Buddha, you will need more time before you can become enlightened. But as soon as you meet the Buddha, the time that you need to become enlightened becomes shortened by the teaching of the Buddha. So if you have to become self-enlightened, you will have to continue on another millions of years before you can become enlightened by yourself. But once you come across the teaching of the Buddha, even if in your past life you haven't established any parami at all, you can do it now in this lifetime, because there's someone to guide you. There's a path, there's a map for you to follow. So don't worry about past parami, just worry about now. What are you doing now? More important. Yeah. If you're not practicing, then it's useless. Even if you meet the teaching of the Buddha, but you don't practice and you don't follow the map, you still sit in your home and not going out, go after the path. So keep practicing, then the time of your enlightenment becomes shorter and shorter.
Ehi pasiko akaliko.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, Philip, I'm have to go a little bit quicker now. 15 minutes left.
Ajaan, I have since we are on this since we are on this topic of giving dana and things like that, I have always this niggling question about giving dana. A lot of practitioners believe that by giving dana, they accumulate merits for future lives and things like that. I mean, isn't that a not a wise thing to do? Because when you're giving dana, you shouldn't be expecting anything. You shouldn't be expecting anything back. You are actually giving up in that moment to somebody which is needed. Because if you're expecting something back in the future, isn't that a trait? I mean, for me, from what
this is not expecting. This is understanding the nature of giving. It's an action that produces result, whether you expect or not expect. It's like when you eat, whether you expect to be full or not, it doesn't matter, right? You're going to get full anyway. So this is the same way with giving dana. You can expect or you don't have to expect. You get the same result from giving. That's all.
Okay.
What you're not supposed to expect is thank you from the person that you helped once. And this is not something you expect to get, because you can be disappointed. You can give somebody some money and they don't say thank you or anything like that. So in this sense, that yes, you don't expect anything from the receiver of your giving, but you can get, you will get what you get from your giving. This is whether you expect or not expect, you will get it. It's like eating. giving is food for the mind. Actually, it's food for the mind. It makes the mind feel content and happy.
Okay.
Whether you expect to get it or not, you'll get that anyway.
Okay. So I mean, it's like I mean, if sometimes when meditators go into meditation and they expect to get jhana, or they expect to do this, right, and it doesn't really work out, for them, and they get disappointed.
That's because they're not meditating. See?
Yeah.
When you meditate, you have to forget about everything and only concentrate on your meditation.
So in this instance, when you're giving dana, just give, right?
That's right. You don't expect anything.
Yes.
From giving, especially from the people that you give to. Don't expect them to be thankful or do something nice to you, or say something good to you or something. Don't expect anything. No, or even recognition. Some people like to give without being recognized. Because if you expect and if you don't get, then you become sad, disappointed, and this can interfere with the result of your giving, which is joy. So don't expect anything from the people who you give to. Once you have studied what they need and you feel that this is the right thing for you to do, just do it. And forget about what they do with what you give them.
Yes, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I mean, you made a very, very good statement. I think one of the devotees asked it, I would like to do a lot of dana and things like that. And you just made a very profound statement and say that, why wouldn't you just give one time, a big one, and then you won't have all these worries anymore? I think that stayed with me for, I mean, it's quite some time. It's for a few weeks already, don't have to trouble yourself so much. Just give one time big, or everything away, and
give everything away. Then you don't have to worry about giving anymore, because you have nothing else to give.
Yes, that has struck me, I mean, for a couple of weeks already.
So people sometimes they don't understand the purpose of giving. The real purpose of giving is to rid yourself of your dependent on money, on material wealth. So that will force you to seek the spiritual wealth instead, by going to practice meditation. That's the purpose of dana, really. If you still have money, then you say, oh, I still can buy things to make me happy when I'm sad, I can go on a holiday or something like that. But if you don't have no money, then what you do, you want to be happy, you have to meditate.
Correct.
But you have some other side effect of giving. In your next life, you'll be richer, for instance. If you haven't yet reached the nibbana and you have to return as human, you'll be a richer person because of your dana that you give in this lifetime. Like the Buddha in his life, before he became the prince, he was a Siddhartha. He was called Paves Sandon, Santa, I'm not Vecha Santara or something like that. And he gave a lot of money, gave a lot of his wealth away. And when he reborn as the Prince Siddhartha, he was endowed with a lot of rich wealth, But he didn't do this because he wants to get this thing. He wants to get rid of his attachment to money. So then he can have time to go meditate. If you still have money, then you might have to look after your money. You have to manage your money. Then you won't have time to go to meditate. Even if you have time, your mind will not be willing to meditate, because your mind will still keep thinking about the money that you have. So it can become a hindrance, having money for the spiritual path. It's a hindrance for the spiritual path, actually. So those who want to go on the spiritual path know that they have to give up money. That's when the Buddha had to leave the palace and become a baker.
Right. Tanajan, I mean, it's like the stories of the Arahant Sivali where I mean, in his past life, he has given so much. Even when he's a monk, he comes back with a lot of support. Even Buddha
right.
has to go sometimes with him on arms round, right?
Yes. Sometimes has to have him accompanied in order to attract donation. And even today, in today's lifetime, many monks, some monks have more attraction for donation than other monks. Some monks have a lot of people give, like Long Time Mahabua. Many people giving him money, giving gold. When he was saying he wants to do some gold, collect some gold for the treasury, people donate gold for him. So maybe in his past life he gave a lot before. So now it comes back to him. Even though he didn't want it anymore, but then he gave it away for the public good. Yeah. But don't worry about this secondary effect of giving. The principal reason for giving is to get rid of your dependence on money for happiness. And then you have to rely on your practice for the spiritual happiness instead.
Yes.
That's why when you become a monk, you're not supposed to have any money with you. You have to give up everything when you become a monk. Yes. But nowadays, people can still keep money in the bank because there's no such rule as to investigate whether you have given up all your money or not. And there are also people who just ordain temporarily, so you cannot really force them to give up all the money. Because ordination for them is not for the spiritual happiness. It's more for good luck or something else. They ordain for 1 month or 3 months. It's more for good luck. Not for the spiritual happiness. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Ajaan.
All right, Alvin.
And relating to this topic of dana, I think in a way we have to give wisely as well, right, Tanajan, rather than giving to somebody which use the money inappropriately. Like for example, give to a beggar, they use the money to buy alcohol, or give to, I find out recently, give to an organization that said that they don't have enough donation, but they have been accumulating money, and or give to a monastery which support monk to achieve enlightenment, to support the practice. Isn't it better, you to actually donate to monastery which actually support monks to achieve, to support their practice, Tanajan?
Yes, if they need. But in a monastery that practices, concentrate on practices, they hardly need much, All they need is a place to stay and just a food to eat. And so actually, they don't need much money, but people like to give to such monastery. Then it's up to the abbot or the teacher to decide what to spend with the surplus money. Usually the teacher will then spend it on public services like hospitals or schools and things like that. Like Long Time Mahabua, he had lots of surplus money, so he supports the villagers with building school for them, building reservoir for them, and then also support the hospitals. They need medical equipment, or they want to build a new building, something like that. So he spent money on these things. Because if it's a meditation monastery, there's hardly any expenses because they don't use electricity or running water. You know, at Longta Monastery, we didn't have any running water. We just have a well, and we just go and pump the water from the well with a manual pump, with the hand pump, and then we put them in buckets, and then deliver to the toilet and put it in the toilet. So there was no running water, no electricity, so no bill to pay, no electricity or water bill to pay. But there's hardly any expenses in the forest monastery, except occasionally when you need to build a sala or fix a sala or a kuti or something like that. But people like to donate to monastery like this because they feel that these are people who are doing good things for the community and for themselves, for Buddhism. Because these are the people who will eventually become a teacher in the future, right?
Correct. I mean, you have more confidence that the money would be
used properly. Yeah, used properly.
Used properly. Yeah.
Not
So your
used-
meritorious deed will be better as well, right, Tanajan?
Yes.
Your merits will be higher.
And you are actually supporting Buddhism this way.
Yes. Tanjam, one more question. What about those people that, sometimes they give a lot of money and they announce to the whole world, they have to tell people they give, it's like they
That's
publicize.
because they still have defilements and they have still self. They want people to acknowledge, to make them feel happy.
Right. But they still accrue the merits of dana.
Yes,
right?
yes, they do that also. But they don't accrue the wisdom merit. They accrue the dana, but not the wisdom. The wisdom that to think that to see that the money is temporary, it's impermanent, and there's no self. There's you still think there's a self. Me, I'm giving the money. And when actually there's just an action of giving, but no one giving, nobody giving.
To reduce the greed as well, right? It's a part of dana,
Yes.
dana practice.
But you have another greed for fame.
Yeah.
You give her your money, but you have greed for fame. You want recognition.
Yes. So they don't realize that, it's like giving greed, just want to accrue merits, but they want to fame. Yeah.
Yeah, because they haven't yet studied deeper into the teaching of the Buddha. They are still on the dana level, on the charity level.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay. I think that's about B. You want to ask your last question? Okay. You turn off your video. I thought you go ahead.
Sorry, Tanajan, just a quick question about the Katina Festival now that we come out of Buddhist land. I just wanted to understand what's the purpose, and is it usually done in all monasteries or only just some?
Well, originally this Katina came about because before that people didn't give any material for monks to make rope with. Monks usually go and collect the material from the cemetery that used to wrap around a corpse, and monks get the material for rope that way. But as Buddhism grew and there are lots more monks, the supply of the material just ran out, and monks just don't have enough rope to wear. So the Buddha saw the difficulty that the monk has to endure with just using one rope, and sometimes it gets wet, during the rain, and there's nothing to change. So the Buddha said, tell the lay people that besides giving food to monks, you should also give material to make rope for the monks. But you should only give them once a year, only one time a year, because he doesn't want monks to be involved with just collecting material to make rope all year long. So he limit the amount of time that people can give material to make rope. Just to each monastery can only accept one Katina, and it has to be done within 1 month time. After that, once that period is gone, no material should be given to monks anymore. monastery anymore. So that's how the Katina ceremony came about. But nowadays, not so much about giving material to make robes, because there's plenty of robes. So the goal now is to give money to maintain the monastery, to maintain the temple, and Thai Buddhists consider this is the annual charity work that they do once a year. They'll do a big charity for themselves. So they do this during the Katina. So during the Katina, they'll be giving some material to making robe, but the major giving is the money, the donation, because this is how the temple will be able to maintain the temple activities, because they have to pay their bills, and fix repair the buildings. So it's become a Thai Buddhist tradition to give a lot of money during the Katina. But the original purpose is to give the material to make robes. No money involved. Okay, just to clarify so you understand.
Thank you, Tanajan.
All right. Okay, I think that's about it for tonight. Thank you very much for your participation. I hope you have learned something and help you advance in your practice. In the meantime, please stay safe, stay mindful, keep on practicing, and if all goes well, I'll see you all at the same time again next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, Tanajan.
Thank you, admin.
Thank you, admin. Good night, Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good boy. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.